Roger Federer is in his 42nd semifinal tomorrow. Fedheads, let that sink in for a second. Mr. Goat, let that sink in. 42 semifinals at majors. Let's put that in perspective. Sam Querrey, he's going to be in his first. Ironically, it's his 42nd try and his first semifinal tomorrow. Marin Cilic, who he plays in the top half of the draw tomorrow, which I believe will be our first semifinal of the day, saving the best for last with Federer playing Berdych second. This will be only his fourth, right? Marin Cilic, Grand Slam champion. You would think he'd have more than that, but no, he only has 4 appearances, and tomorrow is going to be his fourth. And guess what? He only made it out of one of those semifinals. Now, let's look at the most important of these semifinalists, the one that Roger has to take out tomorrow morning, and that would be Tomas Berdych. Now, he's been around a long time. He's done a lot, right? This will only be his seventh appearance in a major semifinal. And just like Marin Cilic, guess how many times he's made it past the semifinal? Only one time. That would be the time when he made it to the finals of Wimbledon in 2010 and lost to Rafa Nadal. So think about this. You add up these guys. 4, 1, 7. That's 12 semifinal appearances. Roger Federer is almost 4 times that amount at 42 semifinals appearances. But I do believe in luck in numbers. After seeing what Roger did in Australia, we got to start buying into this superstitious number stuff. And Berdych is playing his lucky number 7 semifinal tomorrow. There's other numbers to worry about in that match too, which we will get into later in the show. But is this lucky number 7 a real threat? Is Berdych going to get lucky on the 7th appearance? Well, Fedheads, I don't think so, because I think Roger has got a luckier number 7 and 7 Wimbledon trophies, and that's going to win the day. Hit the music. We got to get this started. We got some serious business to get down to in today's show. That's good. So let's break down Marin Cilic and Sam Querrey's semifinal tomorrow. Now, Sam Querrey just beat Andy Murray in 5 sets. That means he's now had to win 3 matches in a row that went 5 sets. He also had to go 4 sets in his second round. Only in the first round did Querrey actually get a straight sets win. That is a lot of running around for a big guy. Now, Cilic has been cruising straight sets the whole tournament until he hit his quarterfinal opponent, who is another great server, Gilles Muller. Now, like I was saying in past episodes, you can play great at Wimbledon, you can return well like Rafa was doing in the first week, but when you run up against a truly great server, things can get a little bit tricky. So who's going to be fresher of the two? Querrey's played more sets overall than Cilic, but Cilic had a longer quarterfinal. His match went 3.5 hours, whereas Querrey's was almost an entire hour less than that. So we could say that Querrey's more tired, but who knows? The most recent match was more exhausting for Cilic. It's a good question. We're going to find out tomorrow. Now, what's more important than that in determining what's going to happen? Serving. These guys have been 2 of the hottest servers at the tournament. They've even been doing better than Roger in the first serve department. Let's break down some of the numbers that are going to come into play tomorrow. Aces. Sam Querrey is leading everyone in the tournament, 126 aces. Now, he's played more than Cilic, and Cilic has 105, comparable to Raonic, who had 102. Serve speed. Cilic's fastest serve of the tournament, 133 miles per hour. Well, Sam Querrey, 137. But more important than aces or serve speed, Querrey is winning more often on the first serve. Not much, but it's important. He's ahead in the first serve win percentage at 84%, with Cilic very close at 83%, and Roger Federer right behind those guys at 82%. Now, the final stat, and what I think will be the most important in this matchup, because not only is it important who's more fresh, and we know they're going to be throwing bombs, they're going to be hitting tons of aces and winning pretty easy points in their first serve, but who's going to defend the second serve better? Well, This is a key stat for this match and why I'm predicting that these guys are going to go 5 sets. Cilic and Querrey are going to wear each other down and have a long 5-set match, and whoever wins is going to be in the final feeling very tired. And here's why. Here's the numbers. Querrey, 56.8% win percentage on his second serve. Cilic, 56.2%. It's going to be a total dogfight. Those numbers are so close. Only 1 percentage point separates them on the first serve, and only 0.6, barely half a point, separates them on the second serve win percentage. This is going to be an epic battle unless one of these guys just lays a total egg out there. I think we're going to see a brutal 5-setter, and since these guys are so tall, they're huge. They're like half a foot taller than Roger. These guys are going to be really worn out because we've all learned from John Isner, when you're that big, running around on a tennis court all day, every day is really tiring and hard to recover from. Okay, moving on. Before we get into the very exciting, compelling, Fed-head preferred semifinal for tomorrow, which would be, of course, Tomas Berdych versus Roger Federer, let's talk about something that's upset me. I've heard people on Twitter since Novak Djokovic unexpectedly got beat in the quarterfinals and Roger doesn't have to play him now, people are drawing comparisons to 2014 when Kei Nishikori knocked out Djokovic and everyone pretty much gave the trophy to Federer before he even played his semifinal against, you guessed it, Marin Cilic. So why are people saying this? Why do people think that since this good fortune has come to Federer again and not having to play one of his biggest nemesis in Novak Djokovic, why do people think automatically that Cilic is going to beat Federer because it happened 3 years ago? Well, I've got some stats to prove to you guys that that is not the case. This is a different Roger Federer than what we saw in 2014, and I'm going to dig into those for you right after this funny commercial that I made. Don't skip it. Watch it. Here we go. Roll it.
All right, Matt, remember, close the net this time, okay?
All right.
Close the net.
All right.
All right, let's
So,
go.
so return and...
Yeah, get in.
All right.
All right. Dude,
I just moved in.
you moved in when you fed him an overhead.
I moved it before.
No, you were staying back here the whole time. I said hit, you get your first ball here, you get in.
You said to chip
Look.
and charge, and I didn't want to go anymore because the ball was
Look,
already
dude,
dropping.
Just next time you hit the ball, I need you to hit and like get in, close.
Okay, I'll get in close.
Why are you like right on top of the net?
I did what you said.
No, we're supposed to stagger at the net. Stagger. Where you're a little further.
You said get on in.
I said get in, but I didn't know you were gonna literally like put your belly button on the net. I mean, this is getting frustrating.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're
Wrong
telling
place.
me. You're
Wrong
telling
place. Me. Wow. Unbelievable. What are you thinking there? Did you leave early enough that time?
Let's go shake hands.
It's embarrassing.
Good match, bro. Wasn't that bad, you guys. Yeah, you only lost by like 1 break.
Yeah, 1 break. Okay.
I'll catch up to you guys next week.
So look at these numbers. Roger was clearly off that day with the serve. I mean, he was winning half of his second serves. And look at this. His first serve win percentage was only 1% better than what his second serve win percentage has been for the entire Wimbledon 2017. That's right. If you average Roger Federer's second serve win percentage in all of his matches so far, it's almost the same as what his first serve win percentage was against Cilic on that day in 2014 at the US Open. Now, on the other hand, Cilic's numbers that day, same exact second serve win percentage as his average at this Wimbledon. But the first serve was almost at 90%, which tells me he had an incredible serving day, and if he does meet Fed in the finals, it's unlikely that he will reproduce those numbers. And also, since we're talking about what Roger can do to monster servers, let's look at what Fed did to Raonic in the quarterfinals. Raonic, who was winning a high first serve percentage. I mean, some of his matches were in the high 80s. I think he had one match where he won 89% on his first serve. Well, when he came up against Roger, he only won 71% on his first serve, and a very awful 42% win on the second serve. Roger, 90% against the big man. If Federer plays anything like what he's been doing every single match so far at Wimbledon, we're much more likely to see Federer win 90% of his first serves than the 69% we saw in 2014. This is not 2014 Fed, this is 2017 Fed. I'm sorry, Fed haters out there. So let's get into Berdych versus Federer. Now, Berdych is coming off an easier quarterfinal win than Roger had. I know Roger won in straight sets, but Berdych just basically had to play one set. But overall, Berdych has had to play 4 more sets than Roger. Berdych had to go 5 with Dominic Thiem. You can see I'm popping up the matches on the screen right now. He's had tougher matches than Roger had getting this far, but the most recent match is an easier one. Now that could help or hurt him. And Berdych is also, he's in his 30s, early 30s, but he's in his 30s like Roger, and he's a big guy. He's one of these big guys. And what do I say about big guys? They got big serves, but running around on a court all day when you're that big, it's pretty rough on the body. So we could argue that Federer might feel fresher than Berdych, and I would say he's definitely not going to feel worse than Berdych. They're probably about the same. I would maybe even give the edge to Roger. Now, when it comes to head-to-head record, I know Berdych has had some pretty big wins over Roger over the years. In fact, Berdych had a really big quarterfinal win that year that he went to the finals in 2010 over Roger. It was pretty shocking. I remember being very upset on that day. But let's look at recent history. That's going to matter more tomorrow. So check out this beautiful page of information. Roger has won 7 in a row against Tomas Berdych, going all the way back to 2014 in Dubai. I remember that match very specifically because it was a rematch from 2013 where Tomas Berdych won, and this time Roger won, and he never looked back, as you can see. In fact, the next 3 wins were in straight sets with a bagel in 2015 there, as you can see at Indian Wells. And then the Australian Open 2016 straight sets win, a little bit of a tight match. Of course, this year, where Roger blew him away 6-2, 6-4, 6-4, that was an awesome match. And then the most recent match, the 3 sets with the tiebreaker in Miami. So the scary statistic that I promised at the beginning of the show for the Fed heads is this. Tomas Berdych is the king of win on first serve percentage at Wimbledon this year. He's at 85% win percentage on the first serve. That puts him ahead of Sam Querrey's 84, Cilic's 83, and of course Roger's 82%. The question is he going to be able to hold to these numbers when he plays Roger tomorrow? Let's look at their matches from this year and see if he was able to do it then. So at the Australian Open this year, when Roger really put the beat down on Tomas Berdych, he was winning 83% of his first serve. So that's pretty close, right? His second serve, however, was a miserable 31%. We saw Federer put a 90% first serve win percentage down on Raonic. He did 95% in his match against Tomas Berdych and a 59% average on the second serve. So if Berdych's average is tops at 85%, and he did this already against Roger on a surface that a lot of people said was playing actually faster. Some of the commentators have been saying that Australia played faster than Wimbledon this year. Almost the same win percentage. And what did it do? Nothing. Roger destroyed him. Now, you might say, what about that second serve? I mean, that's 31%. That might have more to do with the scoreline than what the first serve win percentage was. Okay, maybe, but let's look at their most recent match, a much closer match that went to a final set tiebreak to decide it. But let's look at the numbers from the Miami matchup this year. So the first serve percentage went down from 83 to 78, and then of course the second serve percentage went up to 48, but still less than half, not enough to get it done, whereas Roger not doing as well here, 71% on the first serve win percentage, not bad, but less than what we would hope for, 82 is his average so far, and then 56 second serve. But this brings me to my favorite stat of the tournament thus far, and you guys might know what I'm about to say. But if he was only winning 58% of the second serve in that match, where he still was able to win, what do you think he'll be able to do if he does anything like what his average at Wimbledon has been so far in the second serve win percentage, where Roger is way, way ahead of everyone else at 68%. 68% win percentage on the second serve. That means Roger is almost unbreakable. So I think this is a straight sets win. Fed heads, I really hope it comes true, and I'm pretty confident in this one. Roger's going to win straight sets over Tomas Berdych tomorrow, and I'm going to have to play that Thank You Mr. Wimbledon song again so people can see my stamped predictions where it all comes true and Roger wins in straight sets against someone not named Djokovic, as I predicted. Well, that is about all the time that we have today, Fed heads. Thank you for tuning in to Coffee Break Tennis, the fastest growing tennis talk show in the world. I am your beloved host, Matt Bradshaw, the original Fed head, always thinking with my Fed head, putting the Fed head on my shirt, wearing the Fed on my head with my hat. By the way, if you want to follow me and have fun watching these Wimbledon matches and tweeting about it, follow me on the tweeters at CoffeeBreak10s, that's T-E-N-S. And, oh my God, if you are a tennis player, you need to check us out. We are Crunch Time Coaching, a top 10 worldwide rated tennis instruction channel on YouTube. We are here to help you have more fun and to win more matches on the tennis court. We are a tennis player's ultimate resource. And if you're starting to hate doubles, click right there and start your next level doubles training for free right now. That's right, click there. It's a totally free training series on how you can be better at doubles. Some of that stuff will blow your mind in there. Anyways, enjoy the matches tomorrow. I'm going to be around. I'll try to get a video out tomorrow, or at least at the latest by Saturday morning, so we can hopefully talk about a Roger Federer versus maybe a Sam Querrey, who just won in 5 sets, 20-18 in the 5th over Cilic. There's nothing in here. I drank it already. That sure would taste good, seeing Sam Querrey make it into the finals with a 30-28 win in the 5th set on Cilic. But all we care about, Fed heads, is that our man Roger is there on Sunday. See you guys next time.